R2. D2 needs no introduction. He's that one droid even people who've never seen Star Wars can instantly recognize. At this point, he's not just a character, he's a full-blown icon. Nowadays, a droid like R2 might have just been tossed into the background for comic relief, but not him. He was the main cast. And if you believe George Lucas, he wasn't just important, he was the most important character in the entire saga. He saved Anakin, Padme, and the crew in The Phantom Menace by fixing the ship's shields just in time for them to escape into hyperspace. Without that, everyone would have died, and the Star Wars story might have ended right there. Later, he served as Anakin's personal astromech during the Clone Wars, joining him on countless missions and galactic campaigns. He was even part of D-Squad. R2 even went with Yoda to the literal center of the galaxy, discovering the origins of the Force alongside the mysterious Force priestesses. Through it all, he stayed loyal, a droid who always made the right call. Need saving? R2 would risk everything to pull it off. He was there when Anakin and Obi-Wan's fates collided, and later became the hero of the rebellion by delivering the Death Star plans to Obi-Wan, setting in motion the chain of events that destroyed it. In the Dark Empire comics, R2 was directly responsible for taking down 4 different superweapons: the Eclipse II, the World Devastator, the Galaxy Gun, and Trigon 1. At that point, you could almost classify him as a one-droid superweapon. What's even crazier, he did all of it without the Force, a lightsaber, or special powers. Just pure bravery, intelligence, and an unshakable will to do what's right. But that's what makes him so beloved. R2 never asks for credit or fame. He just rolls up, saves the day, and beeps off into the sunset. And let's be honest, if you had a personal droid that could hack anything, fly, and zap annoying people on command, you'd never let him go either. K2SO might just be the most emotionally powerful droid in all of Star Wars. There's something about his blunt honesty, sharp sarcasm, and hidden heart that hits harder than any explosion. He says what everyone's thinking, no matter how uncomfortable it is, and you can't help but love him for it. Beneath that cold Imperial shell, he genuinely cares about the people around him, even if he'd never admit it. We're not the only ones who feel that way. Since his first appearance in Rogue One, K2SO has become a fan favorite. Reprogrammed from an Imperial Enforcer droid into a rebel ally, he brought a completely new personality to Star Wars, one that balanced humor and heartbreak in equal measure. And with Andor expanding his legacy, his impact only keeps growing. He's part of the KX series of Imperial security droids, the same terrifying models seen during the Gorman massacre, proof of just how powerful these machines really were. And then there's that unforgettable hallway scene, his own version of Darth Vader's rampage. You won't believe how intense it gets. K2SO single-handedly takes down an entire ISB special unit squad, sacrificing himself to save Cassian Andor. That moment cemented him as one of the bravest droids in the galaxy. But what truly made K2SO a legend was his sacrifice. After infiltrating the Imperial base on Scarif, he held off an entire squad of stormtroopers single-handedly while guiding Jyn and Cassian to the Death Star plans. Few droids, or even humans, have gone out in such an unforgettable way. As a touching bonus, K2's first words after being reprogrammed were simply, "Hello." His final word on Scarif? Goodbye. It's poetic in a way. Hello to freedom, goodbye to life. Introduced as Revan's companion in Knights of the Old Republic, HK instantly became a fan favorite for his ruthless efficiency and dark sense of humor. Built by Darth Revan after the Mandalorian Wars, his name, HK, literally stands for Hunter Killer. That's exactly what he did best. He was designed to eliminate targets and then mock them for dying badly. His hatred for meatbags, as he calls organics, somehow made him both terrifying and hilarious at the same time. Beyond his personality, HK-47 was an absolute powerhouse. He could slice computer systems, communicate in over 6,000 languages, and wield nearly any blaster with deadly precision. Against Jedi, he had specialized strategies: concussion grenades, poison gas, sonic screamers, all things a lightsaber couldn't block. He even learned to target a Padawan to force a Jedi Master into sacrificing themselves. Ruthless, efficient, and brilliant. You couldn't ask for a more capable companion. If he could take down Jedi, there were few beings in the galaxy he couldn't defeat. Coming down from a towering powerhouse like K2SO, we meet BD-1, a droid small enough to fit in a backpack yet big enough to steal every scene. First introduced in Jedi Fallen Order, BD-1 became the loyal companion of Cal Kestis, the perfect blend of pet, friend, and lifesaver. Think of him as your dog, but one that can hack Imperial systems and toss you a stim pack mid-battle. BD-1 is a BD Explorer droid, built to assist researchers and adventurers across the galaxy. He was originally the companion of Jedi Master Eno Cordova, joining him on expeditions expeditions to distant worlds like Bogano to study the ancient Zepho civilization. When danger struck, Cordova left BD behind for safety, and the little droid patiently waited on Bogano until Cal came along. Once they bonded, BD became an irreplaceable part of his journey. What makes BD-1 special isn't just his utility, it's his personality. He's light enough to perch on Cal's shoulder like a pet monkey, yet smart enough to hack battle droids, project holographic maps, and even provide tactical advice mid-fight. His AI is incredibly advanced, adapting to every situation with surprising creativity. He helps Cal solve puzzles, unlock doors, and even acts as a handle for zipline travel. But above all, BD is pure emotional support. When Cal is struggling or in doubt, BD-1's cheerful beeps and gestures instantly lift the mood. He's more than a sidekick. He's a symbol of hope and loyalty. And just like R2-D2, BD proves you don't need weapons or the Force to be a hero. Sometimes all it takes is heart and a perfectly timed stimpack. Staying in the Old Republic era, let's talk about T3M4, another one of Revan's loyal companions. Revan first acquired him on Terrace to help infiltrate a Sith base, and from that point on, T3 became a core member of his crew during the hunt for the Starforge. Even years after the destruction of the Starforge, T3 remained by Revan's side on Coruscant, one of the few companions who stayed loyal through everything. When Revan began suffering nightmares about the Sith Emperor, T3 joined him on the doomed mission to Nathema. After Revan's capture, the droid returned to Coruscant on his own initiative to seek help, eventually finding Mitra Surik and aiding her in defeating the Sith Triumvirate. When Mitra later ventured to Dromund Kaas to rescue Revan, T3 went with her without hesitation, knowing the risks. Tragically, it would be his last mission. In an act of bravery, he sacrificed himself to distract the Emperor and save Revan. Though Revan was still captured, T3's sacrifice remains one of the most emotional moments in Old Republic history. IG-88 was the first assassin droid ever introduced in Star Wars, standing silently in the background aboard the Executor for only a few seconds. But don't let that brief appearance fool you. He quickly became one of the most infamous droids in the galaxy. An IG series assassin droid, IG-88, was designed for one thing: eliminating organics. The moment he was activated, he developed a hatred for all living beings and decided droids should rule the galaxy. He killed his creator on the spot and uploaded his consciousness into 4 identical bodies. The one we see in The Empire Strikes Back was actually a decoy, while the others were secretly assembling a droid army on Mechas 3. IG-88's ambitions didn't stop there. He even managed to upload part of his consciousness into the Death Star 2, planning to seize control of the superweapon when the time was right. But fate had other plans. Boba Fett destroyed his remaining bodies, and the Death Star itself was obliterated at Endor, wiping him out for good. Even with so little screen time, fans couldn't get enough of him. His design alone, a skeletal, cold, calculating killer, was enough to make him unforgettable. He's been one of the most requested playable characters in Battlefront, and without IG-88's popularity, it's doubtful we'd ever have gotten IG-11 in The Mandalorian. A killer design, ruthless efficiency, and a story that almost changed the galaxy, IG-88 deserves every bit of his legendary status. Next up is Proxy, the ever-faithful companion of Galen Marek, better known as Starkiller in the Force Unleashed games. As a prototype holodroid, Proxy was capable of projecting lifelike holograms of virtually anyone in the galaxy and even mimicking their combat styles. His database included legendary warriors like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Maul, allowing him to replicate their fighting forms with alarming accuracy. But there was one fatal flaw in his programming. Darth Vader had secretly instructed him to kill Galen whenever the opportunity arose. Despite never succeeding, Proxy developed genuine affection for his master over time, often apologizing for failing to fulfill his deadly programming. He was torn between loyalty and purpose, constantly struggling with what he was made to do versus what he wanted to do. In the end, Proxy proved his devotion by facing Darth Vader himself in a hopeless attempt to protect Galen. That selfless act cemented him as one of the most heroic droids in the Star Wars universe. He wasn't built for emotion, but somehow Proxy found it, and that's what made him unforgettable. Chopper, whose designation is C1-10P, is an older droid patched together from a mix of scrap parts over the years. Even his third retractable leg got swapped for a wheel. That's why he looks like a haphazard mess of colors and plates, but honestly, that just adds to his charm and was probably intentional. He belonged to Hera and became part of the Ghost Crew, one of the most influential rebel groups fighting the Empire. As with most astromech droids, his primary duties were ship repairs and maintenance. But Chopper went far beyond that. He frequently zapped stormtroopers into unconsciousness with his shock rod when he thought it necessary, often displaying a combative and borderline psychopathic personality. Unlike R2, who thinks things through, Chopper acts on impulse, sometimes sadistically. Examples? worse. He deliberately ran over Ezra's hand while he struggled to hang on a ledge, and he once shoved a droid off the Ghost's ramp mid-flight just for fun. Yet, behind the mischief, Chopper remains loyal and heroic, repeatedly risking himself to protect Hera and the Spectre crew. C-3PO R2-D2's longtime sidekick is the Golden Protocol droid who has somehow survived every galactic disaster while complaining every step of the way, and we wouldn't have him any other way. Iconic doesn't even cover it. Think about it. IMC-3PO human-cyborg relations. Even someone who's never seen Star Wars could recognize that voice. Anthony Daniels has consistently voiced him across almost all media, which is part of what makes him so timeless. Built by Anakin Skywalker as a protocol droid fluent in over 6 million forms of communication, C-3PO has been thrown into every galactic conflict imaginable. He's reluctantly fought on the front lines, wandered through battlefields, been kidnapped by Cad Bane, and survived encounters with all sorts of bizarre creatures. Yet like R2, he's often instrumental in saving the day. For example, he convinced the Ewoks to help the rebels at Endor. Without him, the rebel fleet might have been destroyed. Finally, there's A3, a medical droid from Kamino who assisted Nala Se and served a key role during the Clone Wars. He could float, transform into a speeder for transport, and most importantly, was present when Tup accidentally executed Order 66. Alongside Fives, the greatest clone ever, A3 helped uncover the conspiracy behind the inhibitor chips and nearly revealed Palpatine's master plan. The arc of Fives and A3 investigating the Order remains one of the most compelling stories in the Clone Wars. A3's personality made him more than just a medical droid. He was a sparring partner, offering commentary like, "This seems impossible," while never failing to assist Fives. Later, he joined Omega and the Bad Batch, continuing to go above and beyond his original programming. A3's heroism, intelligence, and dedication make him a standout droid. For us, and given the impact of the Fives arc, he earns the final spot on this list. These droids aren't just machines, they're heroes, sidekicks, and occasional mischief makers who shaped the galaxy in ways no one else could. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out more related content shown on screen.